In order to set up site tracking, you need to be able to edit the code of your website. Most content management systems will allow you to do this. If you aren't able to edit your website's code because you aren't technically skilled enough to do so, you could hire someone to do this for you. It's an extremely quick and easy copy and paste job for someone who knows what they are doing. If you are using a WordPress-based website, I'd recommend that you install our WordPress plugin, which makes installing the code very simple. There's a separate video below covering the installation and settings of that plugin. First, you'll need to go into your ActiveCampaign account and turn site tracking on. Go to Apps. Click on the site tracking icon. Toggle it to on by clicking Enable. Whitelist your domain by entering it into the text field and then clicking Add Domain. Note that you'll need to add all your subdomains, so if you have a www version of your site or any other subdomain, you'll need to add it here separately as well. Copy the JavaScript code that appears here. Copy the code into your site so that it appears in the code of every page of your website. This way, no matter what URL someone visits, that code will run and the visit will be tracked. If you aren't sure exactly where the code goes, you can refer to your content management system's help documentation. If you are still unsure of where it goes, I'd recommend contacting a more tech-savvy friend, or you can hire someone to do this very inexpensively on a freelance website. Here I want to point out that simply copying and pasting the code into your site will allow you to track all visitors. In order for ActiveCampaign to identify the visitor, they either need to click a link in an email or opt in using a form on your website. Then all site tracking data for that contact will be automatically attached to their contact record, and all page view data going forward will update in real time. However, there is an additional option to populate the email variable with data from your site or app. If you know the email address of the visitor, perhaps on a contact page or a members only section, you can change the email equals to be email@domain.com. This will help you identify contacts without them needing to click a link or opt into a list. If you aren't sure how to do this, you could hire a developer to set this up for you. Nevertheless, the code will work fine as is without any modification if you just copy it into your site. After you've installed the code, let's test it out to make sure everything is working correctly. To do this, opt in to your list using a form on your site using any email address you own. Make sure that you have cookies turned on and you aren't using a private browser window. Then navigate to a few pages of your website. When you visit the contact record for the contact you just created, you should see that the URLs you just visited are added to the activity stream under the Site Tracking tab. This concludes setting up site tracking. Going forward, all visits to your website are being tracked, and when an anonymous visitor becomes a contact, their entire page view history will be attached to their contact record. Now you can begin using this data to create intelligence-driven marketing automation. If you run into any trouble getting site tracking set up, feel free to reach out to our customer support team.